Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this video where this white woman, I think there was a conversation where she said that black men gained their freedom generations before white women gained their own freedom. And so people were asking her, can you please provide the evidence that the statement she was saying was true and all that? And she went further to let us know that she was like, what do you mean? You know, that emas- Abraham Lincoln's emancipation proclamation. She actually mentioned when it was, and trying to tell us that today, like today, that slaves do not have to uh, get maybe raped and all that. That because, like, there is no longer slavery, like slavery is not happening anymore, and slaves are not being treated badly and all that. It's really amazing how these people come out here to tell you that the things that are slaves or the things that happened to them were actually exaggerations, that they never happened, or things that people actually made up. It's amazing how they make people's experience, like they undermine people's experiences just because they want to be the center of attraction or anything. They really can do anything to make it look like they are the oppressed. Let's get into this video.
What do you mean? Every time that I think that men cannot be any more ignorant, like, what do you mean? Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation was in 1863. Women didn't gain their freedom until 1920. That is almost 3 generations later. And, men were forced to stop owning slaves in the late 1800s. It was legal for married men to grape their property, their wives, until the 90s. The last case of legal marital grape was in 1993. And, you can't own slaves today, but you can grape a woman behind a dumpster like she's a piece of trash and only serve 3 months. You can't own slaves today, but most first-time assailants of women never see a day in jail. And, you can't own slaves today, but men can travel to another country and buy a woman only to bring her to America in order to be a homemaker for her entire life and abuse her at astonishing rates. Every time that I think that men cannot be any more ignorant, like, what do you mean? Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation was in 1863. Women didn't gain their freedom until 1920. That is almost 3 generations later. And, men were forced to stop owning slaves in the late 1800s. It was legal for married men to grape their property, their wives.
Well, hello there. I must say that it was hard for me to watch this video because it sounds like you have a 75-year-old man who has lung cancer on a ventilator in your throat. Because I salute women who get on this app looking like a cheap lady of the night, voice sounding like the vocal cords were damaged from pleasuring so many men with their throat for $5. You got on here and said that Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation and that freed black men, and that women didn't get the right to vote and making it illegal to get beat until the 1900s. It's funny because the context that you say women makes it obvious that you're referring to white women. And you're excluding white women and saying that it was just a white man who owned slaves? There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of documents of white women making their wills and saying that the slaves that they had goes to their next of kin. In that Emancipation Proclamation, Abraham Lincoln made it very clear that black people were still less than white people, and that if slavery would have saved the country, he would have kept slavery in place. We were viewed as 1/3 of a human. Oh, the husbands and the white women are the property and raping us. Why you think most of us have white DNA in us? They were raping our ancestors. And y'all white women had a full hand in that. Y'all loved beating. Y'all loved going down there and making black enslaved men have sex with you and then getting pregnant and saying that he raped you. Y'all had a hand in getting mad that your husband raped an enslaved black woman and got pregnant. And y'all would hang them and take a knife and cut their stomach open till the baby fell out and stomp on their head. White women enjoyed the benefits of slavery. Y'all sat right there with your white men and indulged in this horrific, inhuman abuse of my people. White women got the right to vote. White women got the right to vote before black people, black women. But you don't view us as women. But you will not sit here and play this victim card about how harder it was for white women than black people, black men specifically, because we don't exist. And that right to vote that you got was off the back of black women. You would not have gotten it without black women. But when you started progressing, you removed yourself from black women. But we don't exist, right? Your husband's beating your ass? Good. Because y'all are just as evil as them. Get your ass beat like your husband was beating my ancestors. This is one of the most disgusting videos I've ever watched. It's a shame because some white women need to get their ass beat by their husbands so that they won't be able to sit on TikTok and make a dumbass video. And I hope that their children are there to witness it. That's how I feel. It was white women giving us their babies to breastfeed. While our children would die. It was white women who would see a little girl and think, oh, I could have her around like a fucking dog. It was white women who made black women smother their kids so that you wouldn't get a hold of them. It was white women standing right there in pictures at the hanging of a black man smiling. It was white women who were so upset that those white men, their husbands, were raping the enslaved black woman that they made us wrap up our hair. It was white women lying on black boys, getting them tortured and killed. It was white women who had black women in their home cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids, which should be the wife, mother's duty. It was white women throwing rocks at little girls who were trying to go into school to integrate. It was white women, white little girls throwing rocks at black children riding their bikes. It was black women standing with black men to get the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which said no discrimination based on sex that was included in it. So don't try to exclude yourself, you white women, because y'all are still actively getting black men killed today. 10 out of fucking 10.
You want to be white so bad. What does that even mean? Like I said in the panel, what does it mean to act white? What does it mean to practice white adjacency. Does it mean to work hard? Does it mean have a family, buy a house, go to church, dress properly? Is that what it means? I'm just gonna say it. How is that an insult? Telling someone that they're trying to act white, which first of all is pretty rich coming from a Gen Z pop culture full of non-black kids from the suburbs trying to act like inner city black people. Hey, it's true. Vince, you can't say that. Why not? It's true. It's the case. The only reason that they use acting white as an insult is because they think it is bad to be white. But it's not. Actually, being born white is not a crime.
Let's start from the top. A lot to unpack here. Number one, when you ask the question about acting white, one would say that it is conforming to Western values and standards, specifically when you talk about dressing proper. Dressing proper according to whom? Western values. Who are Western values constructed by? Colonists. Who were the colonists? You know what I'm talking about. Number two, when he asked the question about white adjacency, he answered his own question with everything that followed after that about dressing and about going to church. Those are respectability politics. Number three, respectability politics is defined as the belief of behaving or appearing like the dominant group in society would deem you more respectable and therefore more valuable. And that's exactly what you've engaged here in this video. Number four, this comes from a legal scholar concerned in the Western world. Can you read with me? Since the Western system works by placing positivity and establishing its self-identity on the value of the white, it structures its primary opposition negatively on the level of black. To speak in racial opposition, in reference to the anti-black world, which two principles value are predominant, we see it is best to be white, and second, it is worse to be black. Or to put it in multicultural terms, it is best to be white, but when that fails, at least avoid being black at all costs. Number five, he kind of had a point about non-black kids acting like they from the urban area, putting on blackness like a performance. He got a point right there. However, number six, it shows you that you're being facetious or you're engaging in racial gaslighting because you know what acting black means, but you don't know what acting white means. Number seven, some people really believe if it ain't white, then it ain't right, huh? Number eight, acting white or being adjacent to white is conforming or assimilating. Are we familiar with these concepts? Where we on? Number 10? Yeah, what he did, though, was illustrate his racial illiteracy, his lack of ability to read and write situations pertaining to race. When y'all go back into the video and see when we talked about dressing properly, who y'all think told him dressing with a suit was dressing properly?
So this is all I got from this video. And let me start by saying, you see, people like this are one of the reasons why CRT was banned, and in grades that they don't even teach it anymore. Like, what was she even talking about? And it's also part of the reasons, one of the reasons why they woke up to tell us that slavery was beneficial to slaves, you know? And it's really amazing how palm-colored women have to be the center of attention. They want to be the center of everything, you know? And they completely forgot that they were one of the reasons why they made a law, if you all remember, because there was a particular time that were like, you know, they were fascinated with black hair and all the black dolls, the torch, and the rest of it. And they were one of the reasons why they also made a law about, because at some point, black kids were disappearing. I don't know if you understand what I am saying. And I love the fact that Crystal Black, very big shout out to her. She always coming through and all that. I mean, she really put her in place. And then, it's amazing how, okay, I think I'm going to add this. And Abraham Lincoln should also keep the slaves that he has until the day he passed, you know, because it's just really amazing how these people really want to be like, you know, the oppressed or the victims, right? And thinking, I don't know if they think that Black people do not know their history, or we are still learning our history, or we don't know Black people don't know what happened during the history, or I don't know. But it's really amazing how a full grown up or an educated person will come out online to, like, you know, tell stories like this. And it's really amazing, like, you know. And how am I supposed to tell them that at some point how do I say that you cannot smile so much as a black person, because when you do and your teeth is so clean and dentition, you all already know that we have great dentition and all that. Boom, before you know what's going on. Your dentition, this thing is already off because somebody wants to use it. And some people's hair were used as what? Are we talking about how? I mean, which one am I going to talk and leave the rest? Because it looks like they felt CRD or they trashed their books when their mates were reading CRD. But what do I know? Because I have already heard or seen most of them saying that most of the history they have learned so far were from Black corridors, and they did not learn a lot. In fact, like they did not know all this that Black people come online to talk about, that all this were hidden from them and all that. So yeah, but damn, Crystal Black can read. What did I just hear? That somebody that used to that $5. Oh my goodness. Oh, how are we supposed to it's just like each time they bring up something like this, I feel like they are trying to we know when you have wounds and you decided to put salt in the wound, it's more like trying to open the wound. So they try to when you are trying to forget the history and somebody comes to tell you their own filthy history and how everything was just they were the ones that went through so many things, and the people that were this thing did not go through something. They open their filthy mouth to say whatever they feel like and all that. She might need to read the imagination proclamation, huh? Lord have mercy. Then the one that said, "What does it feel like to be white?" Sorry, the one that was saying, "Why is it that what it feels to act white and all that?" But they know what it feels to act black, or they don't tell us that. This is something that they tell us all that, like you are ghetto, you are ratchet, you are this, you are that, you are. How should they say? You are loud. They know what it feels to be black, right? But they don't know what it feels to be like. Is it speaking proper, or is it dressing proper, or is it what? You all be lying out there and think that we have your time. It's really amazing how these people think we don't know what is going on around the world. Or we are still blinded by some certain things, or we do not have access to internet, or the history eluded us that we could not catch up with it and all that. It's amazing, but man, we know what it means to be. And we know what it means to be black. You also know that. You also know that. If we tell you what does it feel like, or what does it look like to be black, or what do black people know, you are going to tell me that black people eat watermelon, they like a chicken nugget, or they like wings, or they like to eat this, they like to eat that, right? Because I see some of them trying to use watermelon to mock black people. So you don't know what it feels like, how black people act, and you don't know how act. You all will really keep lying to yourself. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.